Okay, you R1150GS fans, I am really happy with this bike. And let me tell you why. So this was my project bike that I bought just over a year ago. Needed a lot of work. Some of it I didn't have to do, but I wanted a bike to work on to learn motorcycle maintenance a little better, since I've done work on some of my cars in the past, but never on the motorcycles. So this was that bike. The problem I had though was once I got it back together, it was making some noise, and it was like whoop, 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 around 3,000 RPM, which I was convinced was my clutch job. You know, I've never replaced a clutch on a motorcycle. So I replaced the clutch, the housing, I want to say pressure plate. Forget what the actual components are. There's 3 components. Anyway, I was sure that I did something wrong. Maybe I didn't line up the balancing marks correctly. So I hated driving it. It just, that noise just pierced everything, and it just sucked. So the other day I jumped back on it and was riding some twisties, and I noticed that when I leaned into the turn, the noise stopped. Now, the noise wasn't constant. It was somewhere around 3,000 RPM, which, you know, I associated with the rotation of the engine. But I would pull in the clutch and, you know, I just couldn't tell if it was still there. It was just so weird. So I decided to ditch those tires. This bike came with basically a brand new set of, I think they're Shinenko, they're Korean tires. They were pretty much brand new. And in the back of my mind, I always wanted to change them. So I finally did. I went out and bought some Dunlops. They had a $50 rebate per tire. I put some Mission Trails, or Trail Mission, whatever they call them, on here. And the freaking noise went away. This bike is now awesome. I'll give you a little tour, tell you what I did. I mean, I put a ton of money in this bike. So let's see, I may even forget a couple of things. I put this headlight protector, this WRS windscreen, which I'm not, see this, I don't dig this. I gotta fix that. But it required the Adventure mounting brackets, which were expensive. Just mentioned the tires. I had the wheels respoked by Woody's. However, when they were looking at them, one of the wheels was cracked. So I ended up buying a new one. I mean, the cost of the wheels and the respoked with these larger spokes was more expensive than the bike when I bought it. Well, the other thing that was more expensive was I had the Öhlins redone by Ted Porter, both front and back. That was more expensive than what I paid for the bike. So let's see, up here, I placed the parking bulb. I put in a new Sargent seat with this heater. I added a Zumo XT2. What else did I do up here? The tank had to be boiled out and resealed. All new tank internals. I don't believe I replaced the fuel pump, but all the, you know, the sock and the hoses between the filter and the pump, all that stuff. Repowder coated the heads. I used Dan Kata's throttle body upgrade kit. So we built the throttle bodies, new lights. I think these are Cyclops. Wunderlich bar, which is a little funky, man. It's so close to the exhaust. Actually had to get a screwdriver in there and bend this bar a little bit so it wouldn't be touching. Removed the charcoal canister, added the little clutch bleed nipple there. I mentioned the clutch. New bearings. This is the I think these are the BMW ones, and this is the Emerald Isle. New brake pads, flushed obviously the clutch and the brake lines. I'm sure I put a new output shaft seal in there. Didn't touch the final drive. It came with the OEM boxes, and it came with this funky rear box or top box. Oh, and I added the, I think it's called See Me Now, or whatever, the brake light. That's kind of a cool brake light. It came with a stay in tune exhaust. That really sounds great. Oh, and I also added the John Jemmy chip for this bike in there. Anything else? But I tell you, with the throttle body repair kit, syncing up those throttle bodies, the engine is quiet. And the other thing that's awesome about this bike is even in the cold, it starts right up without using the choke lever. I mean, it's hot right now. I just got back from a ride through San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge, and you know, it was 90 to 100. So the bike's totally warmed up, but I'll tell you, when this thing is cold, I don't have to do anything. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Let me get it out of gear. And oh, I also had to replace the gear position switch on the back of the transmission because that wasn't working. But this thing is, look at that. Did I say I'm happy with it? Probably missed a few things that I did. You know, for the amount of money I spent on this bike, I could have bought a 1200 that was in decent shape. But then I wouldn't have, you know, got the learning in, which was important for me because I do want to maintain my own bike. I did buy the Rabaconda tire changer. I've got a couple other motorcycles that I've changed the tires on, so that has paid for itself. Yeah, I did put a power distribution under the seat, so that distributes power to the Garmin, and I love this XT2. Much better than BMW's connected ride crap. You know, you turn it on and you got a map. You know, you don't have to wait for it to connect. You don't have to wait for your phone to freaking get Wi-Fi. It works really well. I wish it had a remote so I wouldn't have to lean over and, you know, mess with it when I'm riding. Nice little remote here would be great. And like I said, I probably missed something. That ride's fantastic. I'll show you this light. Let me put the blinker on. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, ain't that cool? It flashes when I hit the brakes. There it is, 2001 BMW R1150GS. It's riding great. See ya.